beginning. So, start off with a paid invoice to the,
No,
no?
you gotta do the public hearing first at the very
Oh,
top.
okay. All right, the vote on the increase from the public hearing held on May 16th, rates and finance charges increased effectively July 20th, 2024.
At our last increase, at our last public hearing, we forgot to vote.
Right, right. So this is what we gotta vote on tonight.
Yep.
All right. So what, how do you want to say that? You want to vote on the increase? What you spelled out? I don't have that in front of me, but.
Oh, I don't either, so I must have looked at it at home. So, because we did not vote on the increase, that will not go into effect until the October billing. Just so everybody is aware.
Instead of July, right?
Instead of July, yep. Finance charge will be effective on July 20th, so that won't go into effect until I do finance charges in September. August, sorry. So, I guess we just all in favor of the increases? Does anybody have any comments? Okay,
I think everything was brought up last time, we just didn't get to vote on it.
right. So you're gonna do the motion to vote?
Well, I'm not for it, but never was. So I'm gonna I'll vote.
But you're the chairperson, so you should still be saying it.
All right.
Well, somebody has to say it, but it doesn't have to be.
It has to be the chairperson to say it.
All right, so anyone, who votes on the increase?
You make a motion to vote on the increase?
Yep, make a motion, vote on the increase.
All in favor? Opposed? If you were on the board, you could put your hand up.
No, thank you.
Well, if we don't do the increase, everybody knows what issues that we're having.
Is the money we're gonna get from the town help us out? We're getting everything we asked for, right?
That money from the town is gonna get us through this year, because we have, when we close on the SRF loan next month, we have our first payment in October of,
2025?
no, 2024. Yeah. What did I do with it? I think it's around $40,000 that we're gonna have to pay. And then 6 months later, we have another payment of around $10,000, which is just for interest. So we're gonna have 2 payments per year for the next 30 years. Yeah.
So right now, it's a tie. We have no other member that can vote, right? We don't, we're short of director.
We have Lee,
Yeah, and he's not here.
right?
Okay, so you reached an impasse. Which rates are we voting on now? The ones that we have in effect now are going to be the ones in effect in October? And November?
We're voting on the ones that are gonna be in effect in October. July billing is gonna stay the same.
Okay. But you just asked for a vote on increase. 2 said no, 2 said yes, you got an impasse.
Right.
If we've got an impasse, does that mean that we're going to be at the July, what we got the July rate is going to be in October? Or we're going to have another meeting?
I'm assuming it's gonna be another meeting, but I'm gonna have to reach out to legal to find out for sure, just to make sure that I have everything correct.
I think for me, one of the issues is that the ready to serve doubled. And I believe the first line is only increased $45, I believe. And I'm trying to think if what that line was called.
Yeah, well, that would probably have been the base fee.
Okay. So I would like to see, or am proposing to not double the ready to serve, because that line is just there. It's not in use. And and then increase the baseline to equal the rest, which would be $50 instead of $45. So if you did the ready to serve fee, you had to have an increase. You could increase it a certain amount, like $10 maybe, $20, but
That is the document with the rate increases on it. I just
Oh.
Is
texted
there a
to you.
reason why you didn't increase the rate for those people who don't allow their houses to be inspected?
They did get an increase also.
What? The one I saw was 25, and I thought that was what it was before.
No, the building drainage fee was the new rate was 50.
Okay, I didn't see that one.
Yeah.
and with that, people have the option of letting someone in to assess
Yeah.
and not. So I can, I feel okay about that. It's just the ready to serve. It's a pipe that's running in front of someone's house that is not physically in use by that person. I'm not saying not to increase it, but to increase it in small increment. You know, I think doubling it is, and this is my opinion, I think doubling it is, where's it gonna stop? Is there gonna be a cap for the ready to serve? Because if it gets to the point where the ready to serve is $300, I mean, I think that's a bit much, obviously. But for me, those are the two issues I see, is the baseline, increase it by the 5 to make it 50, to be equal with everything else, and then put a smaller increase on the ready to serve. And this is my first official meeting, so I'm just letting you know that, but that's,
Now, one way to maybe look at the ready to serve fee that some towns may use, I'm not sure if this is really the case, but the readiness to serve fee shouldn't exceed the cost of the project capital cost, so that's your loan repayments in proportion to your overall budget. And I don't know if it does or not, but that might be one way to look at it.
Is there anybody else here that's on ready to serve fee? Or is everybody on the system as far as paying the base fee and water and stuff?
I'm on the system, but I just put a new house in also that I haven't received a bill for it yet. Which, by the way, I paid $15,000 to hook up to it, just to find out that the town has, what, $150,000 for people to hook up to it that I wasn't able to tap, even though I asked for it. But yeah.
You built that new house up on?
I did.
East Hill?
I did.
I knew you looked familiar, I just couldn't find out, I couldn't remember where. So what do you feel the ready to serve fee should be?
I would say in between 60 and 70, somewhere in that range. If you need to increase it and not leave it at 50, then, but I don't think, in my opinion, that fee shouldn't increase as much as the others.
Ray, Al, what's your opinion?
It's what,
It's 50 right now.
50 right now?
Yep.
Is that fairly new? Or has that been that way for a long time?
It's been that way for,
It was 20, wasn't it? 25?
Because I was thinking it's 25.
And then it went to 50.
yeah, but we haven't had a price increase since 2020.
So right now it's at 50.
It's at 50,
And it was gonna go up to what?
100. And we have,
I go 75. Split the difference.
Al, what's your opinion on it?
You don't have one.
Would you be comfortable with 75?
Are we gonna look at capping this at some point? I mean,
I'm in hopes we're not gonna have to do too many more increases, but I have no way of knowing that right now.
So Al, it's at 50 right now, and they wanna go up to 100. But there's a couple of us that don't wanna go that high, so we're looking at splitting the difference, like at 75. I'll go along with that.
You
but,
will?
Yeah. I don't wanna go with 100, but I'll go 75. I'm splitting it. Right now it's at 50.
So much of a quarter or something, or you gonna dump it right in?
$75 a quarter.
Yeah.
What if something happened one of these days and this thing cut out, did good?
I don't know the future.
So what's your opinion now?
I think a lot of people are gonna dump their property when they see that.
Well, they've already seen the price increase anyway, because we had it in the last public hearing. And at the last public hearing, we said that it was gonna go from 50 to 100.
When we go to 75, they're not gonna be that disappointed.
It's gonna be less.
And it involves, like, I believe 28 people out of the 200 that we have on the system pay the ready-to-serve fee.
That would affect 20, what, 25?
It'll affect 28
Oh,
customers.
28 customers, yeah.
Yep.
So we're going with the 75?
Well, that's what
That's the
we're
vote that's on the table.
hoping that's on the table. So we're seeing if you're gonna break the tie.
no, I would do the 75, but I'd caution a cap somewhere along the way.
And how much would the cap be?
That
Any
I
idea?
don't, that I don't have any idea, but I just think we need to come up with one. You know, is $100 the cap?
So what do you think, Al? You wanna go 75? Or 100?
Don't wanna go 100.
All right. 75?
I don't even really wanna do that.
Or what do you wanna do?
I think 50 is quite a lot. What do you think of that, right?
Well, I think the same thing. I think everything's too high, but we gotta make a move. We gotta do something.
Okay.
And we're at a standstill. And the expenses are coming in, so. 100's a lot. 50 is too much, but we're paying that. And we gotta move on. We gotta-
That doubled in 4 years, and we're gonna double it again in, 4 years. So from 25 to 50, now from 50 to 100, they're asking, yeah. And then when's it stop, yeah?
We don't know how much help we get later on. The town pretty much voted on everything that we asked for, full amount.
Yep.
think they knew this would all be in their hands if they don't help out. If they don't pitch in, this is all gonna be in their hands.
Yeah. So what do you want to do, Al? Putting you on the hot spot, we need an answer. Sorry.
You're gonna settle for 50?
No, it's already at 50, it has to go up to something else.
They wanna go up to 100, but I'm not sure. So I'm thinking 75, is putting the difference.
Okay, let's get it done then.
All right. So we all voted on
So, all in favor?
favor? Okay.
All right, so in October billing, ready to serve fee will be $75.
Yeah.
Okay, so what are the rates gonna be in October?
They will be, the line charge is $195. Building drainage fee is $50. Ready to serve fee will be $75. And 17 cents per cubic foot for water usage.
That's what you had last meeting, right? For the,
At last meeting, there was slightly adjustment they just made.
Yes.
320.
Yeah. And finance charge will be going up to 6.25%.
Now, that's, if I understood correctly, the state basically controls that?
The Maine State Treasurer controls that, and for this year, he has it up to 8.25%.
Okay.
So, and that changes every year.
Yeah.
All right, so everybody's gonna go on to the next one? All your expenses, or you got anything more to add?
No, I don't have anything else to add.
Public hearing.
Oh, yes, we have to close the public hearing.
Okay, so the meeting, vote on, what do you wanna do, vote on the end, the board meeting here?
I would just-
Okay, so we all approved it, so we just come out of the board, out of the public hearing?
Yeah,
Okay.
done with that. Next thing is your expenses.
Yeah,
Anything we should be surprised with on that list?
well, I don't think so. I left my other folder at home.
I'll let you use mine.
The bill for Pine Tree Waste that we paid for $1,200 consisted of a weekend, clean the pump weekend call out. They pulled and unplugged the pump at the North Vassalboro, the pump station that we're always having issues with, and that was $1,200. Everything else is,
They say what was in there, or?
they never do. Whoops.
Is there something you do to screen that, or, divert it, or, so it doesn't plug up all the time?
Well, we have all those pumps sitting over there that we need to get them,
Get them,
get that, we want to get it
There's not
installed.
much you can do about that.
no.
What does Pine Tree charge when they aren't on a weekend, like a special on-call?
$200.
I don't know off the top of my head because I didn't bring one with me. I think a weekend call is double, it's like, I'm thinking it's $300 if they don't come out, if they don't have to. Well, this was,
What happens is one pump will plug up and we still have a pump that's operating. So it isn't a dire emergency unless something happens to the other pump. Or if it's a rainy time, which we have extra flows coming in that might overwhelm that single pump. So it's certainly possible to try to, and this is what I've tried to do in the past, is to kind of use judgment on whether to call them out on the weekend or wait until Monday.
Is the capacity on that tank? How much time does that give us?
None. There's no capacity in that tank.
There's no holding volume or anything if you can wait a day?
Hardly any. The other pump stations have those big square tanks, but this one just has a small, it's a new tank and it didn't have that much volume in it.
So when the alarm goes on that one, you gotta be there for it, pretty close.
It's overflowed a couple of times, or it's overflowed at least once that we know about, and once came pretty close to the top.
Wow.
So I think what we've been trying to do lately is just, as soon as we know there's a problem, we try to have them fix it.
well, on the 29th when they came out and they pulled and unplugged the pump, it was only $300. The other one, they said it was a weekend call out and it was $900. I said they cleaned the pump.
Yeah, I think they do the same thing every time.
Yeah. So,
But it's definitely a premium when it's on a day they're not working their regular hours.
yeah.
All right.
I'll have to get the other thing. Actually, why don't you just sign down the bottom, sign and date, and we'll use that one. Oh, they all have to sign, right?
What's that? Got to sign here.
Right way.
Anywhere, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. Very good.
Okay.
So everyone accepts that?
What's that?
Everybody accepts that, your expenses, right?
Yep.
Okay. Next thing is gonna be what, the outstanding AR
Yep.
as of 6/13/24, it's 26,148, 51 cents, which includes all these liens. So do you wanna explain how that works?
We have $20,000, $20,097 in outstanding liens, which is included in that 26,148 number for the accounts receivable.
Anything on that?
No, just,
That's it?
that's it.
Okay. Update of the SOM paving project estimate. Is that, do you have that, Nicholas?
No, because I left my folder in the wrong place.
Okay.
Sorry. So I received an email, originally, we received an email back on March 29th that stated it would cost roughly $45,000 to do the work that needs to be done with the manholes that need to be fixed. When the state comes through to do their paving. They just did they opened the bids And the estimate is now 61,240. And that's our responsibility to pay with the manholes. So,
Do we have any recourse to go back on when the manholes were originally fixed? Are you talking the manholes on Main Street, I assume? Yeah, didn't we have those fixed a couple of times and paid for that? Do we have any recourse to go back on that company because they're not done right?
It's not that they're not done right, it's that the DOT's coming in and changing the grade of the road.
So they have to be raised up.
Right.
Gotcha, so it's 61 grand to raise up. How many manhole covers are there?
Too many.
Right.
They were like 20 or 30, something like that.
15 to adjust.
61,000 to adjust 15?
And alter sewer manholes was 4 at 4,000. Adjusting the sewer manhole to grade, there's 15 of them at 3,000, and a trench insulation is 15, I guess that's linear foot,
yeah.
of $240.
They're also putting in a new culvert by, well, what I call the dump road.
Yeah, Lombard.
Yeah. And Richard, correct me if I'm wrong, the force main goes over that existing culvert?
Yes.
And the culvert that they're gonna be putting in is bigger than what's there now?
No, I don't know if it's bigger, but it's closer to the,
They go with what they've been going every place else, it'll be a little bit bigger.
They're probably doing what they did near the pumping station, put in a square culvert. And they're doing that, I think, and they put those down low. They want them to have water in
So
them.
that work is for just digging down when they put in that culvert and insulating the pipe. So we're not gonna be really doing anything with pipe except putting insulation around it.
Yep.
So is there any part of this that we are getting assistance with?
That is part of the money that we got from the town.
Some of that TIF money, and put towards that.
Yeah.
So then this is all covered then? Or is there a balance?
I'm gonna say the majority of it is covered. I need to go back and look to find out for sure.
So then if there is a balance, is there any grant monies that would be available? Or any sort of funding service that would be available to cover the difference?
That project was included in that congressionally directed spending grant that the district applied for last spring through Susan Collins' office. And we were notified that that grant had been not approved, but forwarded into the, accepted, I guess you'd say. Which doesn't mean it's gonna be funded. It really depends on the budget. And you know how the budget is these days, the federal budget. In the past, it's been funded pretty well, but that may not happen this year.
Is there a contact that someone could reach out to and or get further information or get a status?
Well, we got a status, and it was that accepted and it was put into the budget. So, in the summer, the budget period actually start for next year is October.
When is the manhole project happening?
That's happening right now.
And we don't have the money to do it because we don't know if it's going to approve or not?
Well, the money, it sounds, that was also put into that tip request, right?
Yes.
But if this other funding comes through, then that TIF money could be used for something else.
Water sewer.
Well, I don't know if the town would insist on taking it back or not, but there would be money available to use for some purpose.
I guess I would be a little concerned if the project's happening now, but we won't know till December, if those monies are going to be allocated kind of, you know, you're
Well,
in
we don't
this.
have any control over the timing of either one of them, but the payment isn't due until 2025.
I would just caution, I guess, to not get in a situation where it's gonna end up where we don't have the money to complete it, and then we're back to the
Yeah, I don't
situation
think it's
again.
gonna be a situation where you don't have the money to complete it. I think it's gonna be a situation where DOT is gonna complete it, and then they're gonna be sending the bill to the district.
Is it lower than 61,000?
It's whatever the DOT said it was. That's 61,000. That's the bid,
61,000.
that's the bid price. The original price was based on the engineer's estimated cost. And then when they put it out to bid, they got the actual contract price.
All right, there on that one. Becky, can you explain what's going on, close on the CWSRF loan?
Yep. We have to close on the SRF loan in July. We still have $133,522 left to draw down on. We're gonna include that in the loan, and that can be used for putting those pumps in the pump station. We need,
Are you sure about that? I still am skeptical that you can use money that's not obligated. I just think we should try to make sure that that's the case.
Christie from Inbound Bank told me that.
I think they ironed out the details somewhat, the whole back and forth,
Right.
finally coming to
Right.
an agreement.
And as long as you do the pay wraps, we'll be able to use that money for the upgrade of the pump stations, but nothing else.
Okay, well, that's a relief. That, what I did when I applied for that grant from the congressionally directed spending grant is not a 100% grant. I think it was something like 65% or 75% or something like that. So we're still dependent on that, this money that's coming, even if they fully funded that, we'd still be dependent on the local share coming out of that SRF money.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think it's July 18th that we have to close on it. Raymond and I are gonna have to sign off on that as chairperson and treasurer. We need one other person on the board to attest to our signatures. All you gotta do is attest to it, it doesn't mean whether it's you. Thank you.
As long as I don't have to drive to like Bangor or something.
No, they come here.
Oh, good.
She'll come here. So, and then, this is just an estimate of the debt service for the SRF loan. Right now, this estimate rate is 1.89%. So in October, we're gonna have to come up with $34,048.40, which the town has given us from TIF. And then in April of '25, we have to come up with $10,064.48. So it's like every 6 months that we're gonna have to make payments.
And that 10,000 is to pay the interest? So
Yes.
No
I believe
principal?
so.
No principal buy down on that? It's just all interest?
No, I think the principal is $34,048.40.
Well, I guess when I say interest, you said there was some interest that had been accrued before this had closed, during the interim when this interim financing, and that's what I'm talking about for interest. That's what you're paying with that $10,000, isn't it?
No,
And the 34,000 payment that's your regular principal and interest payment on the final loan.
no, we have to come up with 81,000 to close on this loan,
So that's the approved.
which is, we gotta pay 3,000 to bond council and the rest to the accrued interest from where we kept doing the allonges. So,
And is that money going to come out of the TIF as well?
the payment in April is gonna come out of the TIF, yes.
Well, the closing costs, you said.
Yes, closing cost is coming out of the TIF. Yep.
So Becky, the next line on that, need to vote on paying this, and they have a level principal payment or a level debt payment.
Yeah, there's two ways.
Yeah, do you want to explain that?
Yeah.
Or is it-
There's two ways that we can do this loan. There's a level principal payment that will keep the bi-yearly payments about the same every year. And it usually makes the total amount that gets paid less than if we went the level debt payment, which means the principal payment will start out lower and it will gradually increase over the years, with the highest amount being paid with the last payment. The estimate that I have here, I suggested to them to please go with a level principal payment so that we can keep everything at an even payment. So we need to vote on which payment.
So which one makes sense to you, since you got all the numbers?
To me, the level principal payment makes sense because we're gonna have a general idea of what we're gonna have to pay every year.
Okay.
I agree.
And it works out to be less money, so, right?
Yes. And this loan is for 30 years.
Make a motion that we use the level principal payment. So, you second that now?
All in favor?
Good. Okay. All right, so the TIF clarification voted needed by the selectmen due to some misunderstanding, which I don't know what that is, but
When Mike Poole,
yeah.
he's on the, okay. When Mike was reading it, when I listened to that, he had the 81,000 coming out of the 200,000 that they were giving us, and the 100,000 that we've had since 2019.
Yeah.
I'm going, this isn't right. So I went to see Aaron. We need, the rural development loan, in addition to our yearly payment, we have to have that yearly payment in a savings account for within 10 years. So then with rural development's permission, it can be used on the system for any upgrades or anything that needs to be done. I have some money set aside already for this savings account. And I requested 41,000, the extra 41,000 to get it up to the 72,000 and get it into a CD that can't be touched for the next 5 years. So Aaron thought we wanted the whole 72,000, not just the 40,000. So he sent an email to the select board, and they just have to redo the vote, the clarifying vote for their paperwork to make sure everything is fine.
Okay, I have a quick question. Instead of putting in a CD, why don't we put in a T-bill, because it's paying, like 6% versus the CD is paying like 3%, 2%. And you can lock them up for 10 years in the treasury bill and get a higher rate.
I'll take any suggestions. I was just kind of looking, because Maine Savings had a CD at like 5-point-something% for a while, so.
Yeah, if they still get a 5 point something, then yeah, CD's the way to go. But I know T-Bells are paying like 5.4 right now.
All right, so you're set with that one, Becky?
Yes.
All right, so now we gotta vote on the charter back to quasi-municipality.
I have not received the charter back from the legal yet.
Yeah.
I was supposed to get it today and I did not. So, as soon as I do, I will get it to everybody. And I'll put a draft up on the website so everybody else can look at it if you'd like to. No. She still didn't send it to me. I'll reach out to her tomorrow and find out where we are. I was supposed to have it today.
Okay. Richard, an update on the NMPS?
No, wait a minute, you're not done yet.
Okay,
Oh, you
wait.
don't have a number 7.
Huh? I don't have a 7.
Okay,
You left out a 7.
I left out a 7. When we vote on the charter back to the quasi-municipal, it is my understanding that the charter the charter cannot be amended by the sewer district. It needs to be amended by a town meeting in June. So, I don't know where we're going as far as, if somebody comes off the board, the select board can replace them. Otherwise, we're gonna have to wait, I believe, until the next meeting in June 2025 in order to get this charter amended. But I need to reach out to legal, I need to reach out to the town and talk to them to find out, because they know this a lot better than I do. So. Right? That's right.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I heard them talk about, they have to do all the, because only the customers on the district would be able to vote on that item in June, so they have to like set up a separate election within an election,
Yes.
which would take time as well for Kathy and others to organize.
Are we gonna get a chance to read what the charter's gonna say?
Yes, when I get a draft copy of it, I'll put it up on the website so you can look at it. All right?
So
And
you're
I,
only talking about like 200 customers that are voting.
right. And we also have the ordinance that mirrored the town of Winslow's. I've also sent that to the lawyers because I don't know if that's just a municipal ordinance or can be used as a quasi-municipal ordinance. So I want to get that all straightened out also. And I haven't heard back on that one at all. So, where I just said, stepping down from the board, legally I cannot be on this board and be a paid employee. I cannot step down from this board until we have a new treasurer, because the treasurer is the only one that can do the liens. Once we sign that SRF loan in July, I just want to put out there right now, if Lisa or Al will be a temporary treasurer, because they can appoint them, I believe, or get somebody else in there, appoint a new person to be treasurer, so we can continue with the liens and that. If they can't find a new board member right off, would Lisa, would you or Al be?
I'd have to think about it.
It would be temporary.
I know.
Okay, I'm just throwing it out there now.
Yep, give you time to think about it.
Yep. So, and I want to get off the board for that reason. That's all I have. Richard, do you have any information on the?
Well,
around the pumps?
the documents are done. I've talked to Hoyle Tanner. There seem to be some minor things that DEP had asked for, but as far as I'm concerned, the documents are ready. The plan had been to try to speed things up, which never happened, was to get direct quotes, direct prices from 3 contractors and not go out to formal bid. And so the last thing Hoyle Tanner said was, all right, so who are the contractors you want to go out to? And I said, I have no idea. So what I would like to do is put it out to bid at this point in time. I just think we should put it out, advertise formal bid. And I guess I would like to ask Hoyle Tanner to put in a price to do that administration, because I don't want to do it. I'm not clear how to go about doing that for these big projects. And I probably could figure it out, but it doesn't make sense.
So you want Arlington to do everything?
Well, I would probably still do the inspection. But as far as the contract administration, I'd like to have them do it.
So what's going in there is the grinder and a pump, or just the grinder?
Well, the way we set it up is that everything will go in there in the bid, but then the price that they've estimated is higher than what we have funds for. So there's an opportunity, they've been put in as discrete prices so that they can actually be removed from the contract if necessary to get where we want. And so if it comes in too high and we want to get started, we may have to amend the contract and delete some of the work. And if the funding comes through from the federal grant, then we could add it back in. But what they are proposing to keep in there is there's some work that's involves taking the top off the pump station to orient it, because it's the way it's oriented now, the grinder won't work. It's going to be in the way of the pumps. And so that's a lot of work to me, but they wanted to keep that in even if we didn't put in the grinder, so that would at least be done, and then they could just go in and put the grinder in place when we needed to. And we might have to eliminate the new generator.
Right.
And we might have to just forget about this work down here, because part of the work is to put the new pumps in this pump station, but that involves running a new wire down through that conduit, and that seems like a lot of work to me. So this pump station is not nearly as bad as the other one. So anyway, that's what I would like to do, is just ask Hoyle Tanner for a proposal to put this thing out to bid.
But what's going in there? It's a pump and the grinder?
Yes,
Separate from there.
in the North Main, the pumps and the grinder are part of that contract.
Bigger grinder, bigger pump.
Well, there's no grinder there now, but the pumps are a little bigger.
That's what's in this box, I believe.
Yes. Yeah, the new pumps have a different mechanism for, they're kind of self-cleaning. Once they detect a plug, they'll actually reverse themselves and try to clear it out. And these ones don't do that. So once these have a plug, they just stop.
So we're gonna have another electrical box that needs to be hooked in at North Main pump station for the grinder and the pump.
There's going to be another box on that stand, yes.
Well, that generator, that's a big generator, but if that comes out, you want to sell it and get the money out of it, put it towards the repairs?
You can sell it or you can set it up here. We were talking about putting a generator here. You can do whatever you want with it.
Put it
Sell
for
it?
sale, the highest bidder, yeah, put it out to bid.
Yeah, so if you want me to contact Boyle Tanner and get price to do that, I can do that.
Then yes? All in favor, have, thank you, Richard.
Any other questions? Anybody got?
We keep going until it's up, right?
Okay. I don't know, give it a win, someone's gonna get damned. Come in there.
I think we're supposed to have really bad storm. Our house is supposed to have really big hail and mile an hour wind.
We go get that generator now?
Nope, that's all I've got.
No questions? Okay, we adjourn the meeting. Make a motion. Second.
Second. Meeting adjourned, thank you for coming.